morning and welcome to a brand new railway walk video. Now today this is pretty exciting because I'm near the town of Arnold, and Arnold is in Nottingham, and I've got quite a few period of years of life associated with me, so it's nice to come down here and have a look at the former Great Northern Railway's Staffordshire extension, which went on from, you know, we've got Mapperley Tunnel about a mile down there, and now we've done that and it comes all the way through here. We've got Arnot Hill Park along here. There was a station at Daybrook, and there was another station a little further down at Bulwell Forest, and we should pass both of those sites today before we eventually end up at the former Bestwood Colliery. So quite a long walk to do today. I don't know what we'll find. I believe most of the route is here and intact. I'm quite looking forward to walking this one. I've never done it before, so come along, you know, let's enjoy this together. So that was Arnot Hill Road we've just gone under. Unfortunately it's had that blue paint on it. It is a bit of a nature trail, this track bed now though. So the bridge is still there. And up there to my right, that is Arnot Hill Park. Now that's just past its centenary. It was opened in 1919, and in 2019 that was its 100 years since opening. So that's quite a nice little historical number to be had, isn't it? Right, so what's really going to happen first? We're approaching Mansfield Road, and before that there used to be a junction, and that shooted off that way towards Woodford Park, and that was the Nottingham suburban line, and it had various tunnels along that route that they're still there but they're all buried. But I will still want to like follow the route someday and bring a video towards that. As we cross Mansfield Road, that was the former site of Daybrook Station. So let's go head on this embankment. I don't know if this piece of embankment I'm on was formed as a track bed or not. Yeah, I think it was. Have a look down here. I think it's just been raised a little bit before we go back down to the former level of the track bed. Okay, I'm starting by the town of Arnold and Daybrook on Aylsham Avenue. Now, if I'd gone in the opposite direction, I was probably, if the track bed was still there, would be about a 5 or 6 minute walk from the portal of Mapperley Tunnel, the portal that's just filled in, can't get to. Now what I'm going to do now is head on towards Daybrook, the former Daybrook Station. We're past Daybrook Junction, which was part of the Nottingham suburban line, and after that we'd follow the track bed through an housing estate. The track bed's pretty much gone at this point before it returns again, where Nottingham City Hospital is, and also Leen Valley Junction. We then come off the main line towards Derby and take a right turn. Now we're going to follow Hucknall Road, and this is going to be the Kirkby to Bagthorpe former Great Northern Railway line, and we're going to take this as far as the junction just before Bestwood Colliery, which is just at the top of the screen. You see it just curving off to the right like a bit of a hook, and we'll finish our journey today, and we'll also run alongside pretty much the Great Central Railway on the left. The Great Central Railway is in fact the blue line. We'll be following the red lines. So we're on the former embankment. The junction was roughly here, and it swooped away over in that direction and went on towards Ashwell Tunnel. There was Sherwood Station, Sherwood Tunnel. There was, as I say, there was 4 or 5 of them on that route. The route we're taking, the embankment's gone. It's now a car park. There's a go outdoors a little bit over there, and to continue on, there used to be a bridge, and I'm hoping I should be able to find a nice picture of that for you. I'll see you on the other side of Mansfield Road. Right, there's Mansfield Road. We've crossed that. There used to be a bridge just there, and there's your track bed just there, I believe. And we're straight onto the site of the former Daybrook Station. Now Daybrook Station, that had a few names in its life, and it was originally opened as Bestwood and Arnold, and then it was renamed Daybrook for Arnold and Bestwood. Eventually in 1876 it was renamed just Daybrook Station. Now it closed to passengers in April 1960, and freight movements, they didn't last much longer. They went as far as 1964. There did also used to be a goods shed up there and maybe 2 or 3 sidings. So what happens next is we're following it along here, and looking at the maps we're going to lose the track bed for a short little while. Got to go through an housing estate as it typically is. If that is so, I'll see you at the other end of this housing estate. So this is Peggy's Park, and it was named after a lady called Glenys Pegg, and she was instrumental in the local community in, I believe, the late 60s and early 1970s. And they've made this nice little park with that little bit of a reminder of what was once here. I mean, if you turn around, quite a bit for the young to do. And the route carries on further down here before we go back into the housing estate again. Let's see if there's any more reminders down here or any kind of memorials. So upon leaving Peggy's Park, I didn't find anything else. So Edwards Lane's next, and I think there's a filled in bridge up there. So let's go and find that. Then after that we have to go down a little road, I believe, only for about 100 yards before we're back on the track bed again. So right next to Edwards Lane, and you can see that's where the track bed was. I wonder how many people in these houses down here are aware of what once thundered below them. There's the wall, look, that's for the bridge which carries Edwards Lane, and it's completely infilled on both sides. So not really much to see at all since Edwards Lane, just those unsightly, well, those horrible 1970s design flats, horrible. To my left, beyond there, is the huge Nottingham City Hospital complex, and there was also Bagthorpe Hospital. This was the site of Leen Valley Junction, and it went off. There was about half a dozen sidings. There was a wagon repair depot too, and a shed and a few other buildings. Absolutely nothing left. But you got to imagine it came down there along this flat land and into this expanse of wasteland just here. It's never been built on. There's something through there, look. What is that? Is that really a railway relic? It looks like one, doesn't it? There's a concrete support there of some sort as well. If we come out, see it through there? Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? So it wasn't really looking like a sleeper of any sort, but it looked like a kind of foundations, maybe some sort of signalling, maybe some signage, some sort of post. That's a nice little find. So dropping down to our junction now, we're going to leave the Great Northern behind in a few minutes. You can still see as I'm walking down here and heading towards Upnall Road, the embankment is still clearly up there, look, with more of those hideous flats on the top of it. Now we're going to deviate away from the Great Northern, as I say, and we're going to head off in the opposite direction towards Bestwood Colliery. Right, I don't know if you can just make that out. There's some brickwork up there. Now that's where we say goodbye to the Great Northern Railway. That's going to continue on towards Basford East Junction, I think it is. Of course, Bentley Viaduct, and on towards Smalley, and then Derby Friargate Station. Been closed a long time. Now, incidentally, we take this route now, which looks a hell of a lot more like a railway. And this is the former line that is going to take us off towards the former Bestwood Colliery, which closed a long time ago. Now above us, that is Arnold Road. That's Hucknall Road to the left. There's a junction up there. But this is quite one hell of a bridge, isn't it? Could have done with my big light down here. Now this looks more like a railway track bed, doesn't it? A former track bed. Got the trees, the cutting, and a nice little surface to walk on. It's the former Kirkby to Bagthorpe Great Northern Railway line. And that is going to scoot us all the way down here. Now we would have run parallel with the former Great Central line, that was just over there. And there was also a junction known as Bulwell Junction. A little way further down here, then we're coming to another station, and it is Bulwell Forest, and it had a very short line. When we get there, we'll talk about it a little bit more. I'll know when I'm there because there's a massive Tesco down there. Incidentally, passing the Nottingham City Hospital there, I said at the beginning of the film that my life was associated quite a bit with Arnold and Daybrook. It also was there as well because that is where I was born. Now, a bit of a pop quiz, answers on a postcard below. What year do you think it was? Insults and flattery comments down below, please. So right now we're on a bit more of an embankment and it's widened a little bit. I don't know if you can make out or on. It's quite a bit of a camber on this bend. Unsure when this line actually closed. Information I've gathered so far, well, Bestwood Pit, that's shut 1967. The station at Bulwell Forest shut way before then. So we've got to assume that it did close late 67, maybe 1968. Right, that's the extremely busy Hucknall Road there. The embankment for the track bed is up there and we're going to lose it a little bit by the looks of it and have to stick to the road before picking it up again around about the site of Bulwell Forest Station. Right, so there's Top Valley Tesco over there, so that means we're at the site of the former Bulwell Forest Station. Now, it was double platformed and it opened in October 1887. But it only lasted until 1929, so not very long at all. Probably potentially because of the array of railway lines such as the Great Central and various other services and routes which pretty much ran parallel to this area. Got to leave the track bed behind again now. We're going down to a dip, to a junction before picking it up again. Coming up to Top Valley Way now, still next to Tesco, which I just want to mention, there also used to be a wagon works on that Tesco site. The route down there is absolutely dominated with oak trees. Oak trees everywhere. It makes a change from the usual silver birch you see on a lot of railways. It's really nice. Interesting fact that an oak tree has to be roughly 40 years old until it will actually produce acorns. See, don't just learn about railway stuff on these walks, do we? Nice straight stretch down here, back in a cutting, look, only a little one, a little bit higher on that side. Hucknall Road is still pounding away on my left hand side and we're coming up to a junction very soon. There's something, look. Some old sleepers stuck in the ground. Wonder what that was. Something to do with signalling again, or maybe where equipment was stored. Oh, brilliant. That's great. Some sleepers been put in there, look, to prevent any kind of landslip. They've been there a very long time, haven't they? Is that sandstone? I mean, that's not a sleeper. But these were, weren't they? Excellent. Such a deep cutting right now. Look at that, all the way up there. That's a long way down. And more evidence of potential where the land's been slipping away. There's a couple of old sleepers propping that up. And we are on a bit of a downward gradient as well. It's quite a... if you can really see it. You can a little bit, can't you? You can see it's a little bit uphill. Excellent. Right, let's go. Now we're coming up to the site of what was Moor's Junction. It's quite often known as Bestwood Junction as well. And there was a little line which joined the Great Central line onto the Great Northern, and it was known as the Great Central and Great Northern Joint Railway. That's a little way further up this way. We're going to leave the noisy Hucknall Road behind, thankfully. That's just out of sight through there. And we're going to head on to the junction of this former railway. So what we've done at this point, we've come up this hill away from where I was just speaking to you last, and this looks like the track bed here of the joint railway, and it would have gone straight down there in that direction. The track bed we've been following would have been just over there, and eventually they'd meet 100 or so yards a little way down here. Now at this stage, whether I'm correct or not, there's a bit of a gap there, and then it builds up again just there where that line of weeds and nettles are, and I'm expecting both of them to come close together down here. That's the direction we just come from, and both embankments have indeed met just here. So this would have been the site of the former Moor Bridge or Bestwood Junction, linking up the Great Central and Great Northern Joint Line and continuing on the Great Northern Railway off towards Bestwood Colliery. I'm not really sure what the route's going to do down there. There were 2, 3 or even 4 ways onto Bestwood Colliery site. Different railways leading onto there. Which one, if any, are going to take me onto the site? Cause that's just over there. There's a big grassy area over there. Bestwood Colliery was over there. Or have I actually just got to follow the road around once this track bed finishes? So I'm in the dark as much as you are at this point. Like there's a few bits and bobs here, look. What these have been. It's really dull. Something railway related, isn't it? Foundation to something. And look over here. Oh, look at that. That's excellent. I love finding these little nuggets. Right, so we come off here. That line carries on down there. Might have a look at that at the end. It'd head off towards Bestwood Station. This is our little route though. This is our track bed, the former track bed for the Great Northern Railway towards Bestwood Colliery. So let's follow this down. At least we've got the question answered of how we're going to get back to the colliery. So at least the question's been answered of how I'm going to get to the former colliery site. I wasn't sure if this was still here or not, but indeed it is. We shouldn't be that far away. There used to be a quarry next to Bestwood Colliery as well. That's long gone, but there was a couple of railway lines that went into and serviced that site too. Now the path's deviating in that direction. That's not the track bed, but look at this. A little bit of brickwork there. Now it is fenced off, but you can easily walk around, look, and we can actually get back onto the track bed and see how far down we can actually get, because that's what we've come to do, isn't it? Follow the track bed, not the public footpaths. Old concrete fence post of some sort there, look. Something. Very overgrown, long gone. There's the fence posts for the old railway boundary. There's another one there, look. It's getting very overgrown, this. Might have to turn back. Right, so this is now where I am. So I backtracked and went back to that path. And this is a little map, look. So I've come from down here, look, and I'm just here, and I've just took that junction off there. What we're going to do is walk there now. The old track bed is sort of like there. There's the site of the old headstocks for Bestwood Colliery. This was the site of the entire site of the colliery, and the quarry was a little way over here. There's some lakes there, and the Calverton Colliery branch is a little way over there as well. Pretty close to the headstocks of Bestwood Colliery where they were. That was sunk way back in 1875. My word, that 145 years ago. It lasted till 1967, and at the peak employed more than 2,000 workers to keep the place going. That's impressive. There's also a winding house on site as well. Now it's pretty dull and overcast, but hopefully we can get some nice footage of it. Now the Bestwood Coal and Iron Company, now that also opened an ironworks in 1881 with 2 blast furnaces. There were a further 2 blast furnaces added in 1890 to make it up to 4. This carried on in operation until 1928. I think we're probably almost on site. Right, so back on the Kirkby to Bagthorpe stretch of the Great Northern Railway now. It was so nice to see that part of Bestwood Colliery looked after, restored and maintained. There was one more station down here. Bestwood Colliery had its own station, and that was a little further down here where the mill lakes are now. Now, it opened in 1882 as Bestwood Station. It only took a year for it to be renamed in 1883 to Bestwood Colliery, but soon after it was reverted back to the name of Bestwood Station. What year did it close? It was renamed Bestwood in March 1907, and then it was renamed back to Bestwood Colliery again a short while after. And it closed to passengers in 1931 and closed to goods in 1958. Thank you, Google, for that bit of information, because my mind is like a sieve sometimes. Okay, including the little diversion off to Bestwood Colliery. That's just over 6.5 miles walk from beginning at Daybrook, Arnold, all the way through to Bestwood Colliery. Right next to me on that side, I've got the former Calverton Colliery branch just out of sight. I'm going to head to get a tram now back into Nottingham city centre and probably make my way home. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Plenty more to come. Now I'm delving deeper into like the Nottingham city centre area and beyond the other side towards Derby. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you very much to Vic and the two furballs. Always appreciate your input, enthusiasm. That is absolutely brilliant. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you also to the recent channel members which have come along on board. Absolutely appreciated. You can become a member of the channel. Starting at only 99p a month, you can support this channel and encourage me to go to further places, further wide. You can hit the join button below and see the options, watch a little video. Take care, see you soon, bye bye.